Nestled deep within the African continent, Uganda is a country of remarkable beauty and surprising diversity, a place where the East African savanna gracefully merges with the West African jungle. It is a landlocked nation, no coastline, yet rich with vast bodies of fresh water. Located in East Africa, it straddles the equator. Instead, Uganda offers a pleasant temperate climate, comfortable for travelers and fertile for its people. The country covers about 241,038 square kilometers, roughly the size of the United Kingdom or the state of Oregon. This land is a mosaic of rolling hills, soaring mountains, expansive lakes, and dense forests, alive with wildlife. Uganda sits in the African Great Lakes region, shaped by the East African Rift. Its location put it at crossroads of cultures, trade, and ecosystems for centuries. Different peoples have met, mingled, and sometimes clashed, creating a complex social fabric. This is your gateway to exploring Uganda's many facets. We'll journey through its history, ancient kingdoms to the modern state. We'll explore natural wonders, the source of the Nile and misty forests with mountain gorillas. We'll delve into daily life, culture, economy, and the very essence that makes Uganda the Pearl of Africa. It's a journey worth taking, a nation that defies expectations and captivates visitors. Uganda's identity is deeply intertwined with the nations and water bodies that form its borders. To its east lies Kenya, a country with which it shares strong economic and cultural ties, with a major trade corridor connecting the two. To the north, Uganda borders South Sudan. To the west, the Democratic Republic of the Congo stretches out, a vast and resource-rich country whose dense jungles are a continuation of Uganda's own. In the south, Uganda is bordered by Rwanda and Tanzania, completing a circle of 5 neighboring countries. The most dominant of these is the magnificent Lake Victoria, the largest lake in Africa, and the world's second-largest freshwater lake by surface area. Uganda shares this colossal body of water with Kenya and Tanzania, and its shores are a hub of activity, supporting fishing communities, agriculture, and transport. The presence of Lake Victoria has a profound impact on the climate and daily life of millions of Ugandans. Beyond Lake Victoria, Uganda is dotted with several other significant lakes that are part of the Great Rift Valley's western arm. Lake Albert and Lake Edward lie along the border with the Democratic Republic of the Congo, their waters rich with fish. To the north, Lake Kyoga forms a complex network of shallow waters and marshlands in the center of the country. These lakes are lifelines for communities, providing water for domestic use, irrigation for crops, and livelihood through fishing. The intricate network of lakes and rivers acts as a natural circulatory system, connected by powerful rivers, most notably the legendary Nile River. The presence of these neighbors and vast water bodies has shaped Uganda's history, economy, and strategic importance. They are the threads from which the nation's story is woven, creating a rich tapestry of human and natural interaction. The story of Uganda stretches back centuries, long before its modern borders were drawn. The land has been inhabited by various peoples for millennia. Early inhabitants were hunter-gatherers, Batwa pygmies. Waves of migration brought new groups into the area. Bantu-speaking peoples, skilled farmers and ironworkers. They migrated from West and Central Africa, settling the south and west. In the north, Nilotic-speaking pastoralists. These societies evolved into powerful centralized states. By the 14th and 15th centuries, well-structured kingdoms appeared. The Empire of Kitara rose, remembered in oral tradition across the Great Lakes. Successor kingdoms emerged, Bunyoro Kitara and Ankole. These kingdoms developed complex political systems ruled by kings with hierarchical social orders. One kingdom grew dominant, Buganda. Along the northwest shores of Lake Victoria, Buganda had advantages. Fertile soils, access to the lake for trade and fishing, and a centralized political system. It was ruled by the Kabaka, who governed via chiefs and a clan-based social organization. Buganda's military and economy expanded its influence. This pre-colonial history is the bedrock of modern Uganda. The legacy, rich traditions, political structures, cultural identities, tensions and alliances shaped the region long before Europeans arrived and influenced colonial administration. Understanding this deep history is essential to appreciating Uganda's complex, vibrant identity. The name Uganda itself is a direct legacy of its most influential historical kingdom, Buganda. The term was a Swahili corruption of Buganda, used by Arab traders and European explorers in the 19th century, referring to the powerful realm ruled by the Kabaka. This kingdom traces its origins back to the 14th century, and was situated in an incredibly fertile region with reliable rainfall. The social fabric of the Buganda kingdom was intricately woven around a clan system. There are over 50 recognized clans known as Ebika, each with its own unique totem, an animal totem, a plant totem. These totems are forbidden to be eaten or harmed by clan members. Each clan has its own history and cultural practices. This clan system was patrilineal. It influenced land ownership, marriage, political appointments, and social obligations. The kingdom's political structure was highly centralized with the Kabaka at its apex. He was considered the ultimate source of authority. Below him was a council of ministers including the Katikiro, the prime minister, and a system of chiefs. This efficient bureaucracy allowed the Kabaka to maintain control, collect taxes, and mobilize a formidable army. This level of organization greatly impressed the first European visitors and influenced colonial history. The cultural richness was expressed through its language, Luganda, its music, its dance, and intricate court rituals. The royal court was a center of artistic and cultural life, with specific traditions marking important events. The legacy of Buganda remains a vibrant and constitutionally recognized cultural institution within modern Uganda. The kingdom's influence is evident in the country's name, the prominence of its language, and the enduring cultural pride of the Buganda people. The late 19th century was a period of intense European colonial expansion in Africa, often called the Scramble for Africa. The British, competing with other European powers, turned their attention to the African Great Lakes. In 1894, after political maneuvering with Buganda leaders, Britain declared Buganda a British protectorate. That meant protection and guidance from Britain, while the Kabaka retained some internal autonomy. The British saw Buganda's organized structure and military strength. They used Buganda agents and soldiers. With them, the British subdued other kingdoms, gradually shaping the borders of modern Uganda. The 1900 Buganda Agreement formalized this relationship, giving Buganda special status but cementing British control. Western influences spread, especially Christianity. Catholic missionaries, the White Fathers, Protestant missionaries, the Church Missionary Society. They arrived in the 1870s and found a receptive Kabaka's court. Conversion of chiefs and pages sped the spread of the faith, but it also sparked religious and political rivalries, which led to civil wars in the late 1880s. The British exploited these divisions, siding with Christian factions. Uganda became an agent of Christianity and Western education across the protectorate. That sub-imperialist role brought privilege to the Buganda and resentment from other ethnic groups. British indirect rule used kingdoms like Buganda, but altered them to serve colonial interests. This legacy of collaboration and resistance, privilege and subjugation, shaped Uganda's political landscape for decades. In 1907, a young Winston Churchill, then British Under-Secretary of State for the Colonies, embarked on a tour of Britain's East African territories. His journey through Uganda left an indelible impression. He was mesmerized by the stunning landscapes, lushness of vegetation, variety of wildlife, and pleasantness of climate. In his 1908 book, My African Journey, he famously summarized his experience. For magnificence, for variety of form and color, for profusion of brilliant life, bird, insect, reptile, beast, for vast scale, Uganda is truly the Pearl of Africa. This beautiful and enduring nickname has been a source of national pride ever since. Churchill's description captured the essence of a land blessed with extraordinary natural wealth and beauty. This acclaim helped put Uganda on the map as a destination of unique and unparalleled splendor. After decades under British rule, the winds of change began to blow across Africa, with growing calls for self-governance. The path to independence was complex, marked by political negotiations about the status of ancient kingdoms within a modern state. Despite these challenges, the movement towards sovereignty gained momentum. On October 9, 1962, Uganda finally gained independence from Britain. The Union Jack was lowered for the last time, and replaced by the new Ugandan flag. The dawn of independence was a moment of immense hope and celebration. Milton Obote became the country's first prime minister. The country joined the Commonwealth of Nations. The early years were fraught with challenges, forging a unified national identity among diverse ethnic groups and kingdoms. The heart and soul of modern Uganda is its vibrant capital and largest city, Kampala. Originally built on 7 hills, sprawling across the landscape in a dynamic mix of modern skyscrapers, bustling markets, leafy residential neighborhoods. Kampala is the administrative, commercial, and cultural hub, a melting pot where people come to work, trade, and live. The city's energy is palpable. The chaotic symphony of boda traffic, lively restaurants, shops, and cultural centers. Uganda's landscape is dominated by incredible rivers and lakes. The legendary River Nile begins its epic journey from Jinja. The source of the Nile at Jinja is a major landmark. The Victoria Nile flows out of the lake, cascading over rapids through gorges, powering hydroelectric dams feeding into Lake Kyoga before continuing north as the Albert Nile towards South Sudan. Lake Victoria, the largest tropical lake, spans Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Scattered islands dot its surface, fishermen haul in their catch, a thriving fishing industry. Along the western border, Lake Albert and Lake Edward, deep Rift Valley lakes with rich fish stocks and stunning scenery. In the heart, the shallow wetlands of Lake Kyoga, a unique ecosystem. These lakes are vital to Uganda's economy, ecology, and the daily lives of millions. The bustling urban center of Kampala and the serene, life-sustaining rivers and lakes together define Uganda. Kampala is the modernizing face. The Nile and Great Lakes are the ancient, enduring heritage. Twin pulses, one driving the economic future, the other providing nature's timeless rhythm. Together they create a dynamic, balanced identity for this East African nation. Uganda's reputation as a premier wildlife destination is anchored by one of its most precious inhabitants, the mountain gorilla. Nearly half of the world's entire population of these critically endangered primates resides in the misty, high-altitude rainforests of southwestern Uganda, the Bwindi Impenetrable National Park, the Magahinga Gorilla National Park. Trekking through dense forest to spend an hour with a gorilla family, observing their complex social interactions, is a profoundly moving experience. Beyond gorillas, Uganda boasts incredible fauna diversity. The Big Five: lion, leopard, elephant, buffalo, rhinoceros. Queen Elizabeth National Park is famous for tree-climbing lions. Murchison Falls offers spectacular game drives and boat cruises, vast pods of hippos, enormous Nile crocodiles, herds of elephants, giraffes. The country is also a birdwatcher's paradise. The bizarre and prehistoric-looking shoebill stork. One of the most remarkable things about Uganda is its wonderfully mild climate, which defies its location directly on the equator. Uganda's high altitude, much of it on a plateau between 900 and 1,500 meters above sea level. Average daily temperatures typically range from 21 to 25 degrees Celsius, dropping at night. This eternal spring climate makes Uganda pleasant year-round, with 2 rainy seasons. March to May rainy season, September to November rainy season. This unique combination of incredible wildlife and agreeable climate makes Uganda truly special. Savanna, wetlands, montane forests. Government and conservation organizations are working diligently to protect these natural treasures. The ability to see world-class wildlife in a comfortable, temperate environment is a key part of what makes the Pearl of Africa shine so brightly. The backbone of Uganda's economy is agriculture, with the vast majority engaged in farming, mostly at subsistence level. The staple food is matoke, steamed and mashed bananas. Other important crops include cassava, sweet potatoes, maize, and millet. The cuisine reflects agricultural roots, featuring stews served with staples. In Kampala, the popular Rolex, eggs and vegetables in chapati. Uganda is a country of deep religious faith, with Christianity being dominant at 84%, split between Catholics and Protestants. Islam is practiced by 14%. There's also a small Hindu community. English is the official language, while Luganda is widely spoken. The currency is the Ugandan shilling. GDP is around $50 billion, but challenges remain with literacy at 79% and 20% living below the poverty line.